Gotta thank Yahweh for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Yah and the faith of Mashiach. Whoa, yeah. I gotta thank Yahweh for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Yah and the faith of the Mashiach. Yo, yeah, whoa.
Shalom, Zion. So this is going to be a pretty intense lesson. So go ahead and get ready to buckle your seatbelts. So this one is called Black People, Negroes Perpetuate Slavery by Worshiping Their Oppressors. Now I'm going to show you something today, and I'm going to show you in such a way how our people, many of them, perpetuate slavery by imitating and following their oppressors without even realizing it. I'm going to show you in a way that you have not seen, because this thing is deep. It's so ingrained in our people. It flies right over their head. They can't even see it. They don't even know what they're doing. It's like our people are stuck on autopilot to destruction that can't be shut off or reversed. All right, Zion, let's get at it. Perpetual. To make perpetual. To preserve from extinction or oblivion. Did y'all hear that? To preserve, that's the key word. So when our people imitate and follow after their oppressors, what are they doing? They are preserving the traditions of their oppressors. Plain and simple. In other words, in order to give something power, you must heed to it, or you must bow down, or you must submit to it. This is what this thing is talking about. To preserve from extinction or oblivion. All right, let's look at another one. Oppressor. A person or group that oppresses people, or you could say a person or a group that oppresses or terrorizes people. And the last time I checked, black people don't run this country. Now, we know this word can apply to any group of people because it's such a broad concept. We know that black people can oppress black people, white people oppress white people, and so forth. You can go through all the races, but we're talking about a worldly scale here. All right? Who own and control all the banks? Who owns and control all the media? Who owns all the propaganda that is spread out there? Who makes the laws? Who creates the laws? Who are the laws for? You see what I'm saying? So when you talk about oppression, we're talking about a worldly scale. And who are the only group of people that control all of those things that we just mentioned? You get the picture, right? So that means there's a bloodline group of people. Now, notice I said bloodline group of people that have been preserved for over 2,000 years and have been in control of this world since then and have managed to wreak havoc amongst the people of the Most High. Now, you got to understand the significance of this thing. This thing goes deep. When we talk about the rabbit hole going deep, it goes deep. And these people have a pet boy lock on this world, but not for long. Not for long. And I'm going to show you visually how our people constantly give the oppressor their powers by constantly imitating and following their ways. Now, you all read this verse 100 times, over and over. But how many of you realize what it's really saying? Proverbs 3:31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Another broad concept that our people just don't want to understand or just don't get it. So when you grew up as a child, we all did in this country or wherever you are scattered to, you grew up understanding the fact that holidays and festivals, anything that the world had to offer was great. You grew up with it. You grew up with Christmas. You grew up with Thanksgiving. You grew up with the white Jesus. You grew up believing everything that was told to you, because we were stuck in this perpetual channel or frequency that we've been locked into for so long. The matrix, as you can call it, has blinded our senses to the truth and to the facts. So we grew up with all this mess. We grew up with all these lies. And some of you started to become conscious at a certain age, and you begin to realize that something was not right, that the churches you were going to, something was wrong. And then you came out of Christianity, you came out of the other denominations that you're in, and you began to search for a more higher light. You began to search for the truth. You began to realize all this stuff that was told to us, all the stuff we grew up with, was all fables, was all lies, was all meant to destroy us. Even though you came out of Christianity, you came out of Buddhism, you came out of Islam, or whatever denomination you came out of it. But here's the problem. Fast forward to this current day, even the so-called woke brothers and sisters who claim to know the truth and claim to be woke, you might be woke, but you still have a religious mindset. So in other words, many of our people are woke with a religious mindset. And we're going to get more in depth with this whole religious thing, because you can be woke and still have a religious mindset. And religion is nothing more than repeated superstition. Let me repeat that again. Religion is nothing more than repeated superstition. Again, we'll come back to the religious thing, but I want to show you how our people are perpetuating slavery by worshiping their oppressors. Now let's talk about this rap game, which is heavily destroying our people. It's turning our brothers into feminists, into homosexuals, and it's causing hatred, greed, and self-hatred amongst our people. This thing is destroying our people. And guess who's the ringleader? The Khazars, or the ones they call the Zionists, the ones they call the Jews over in Jerusalem. The ones who owns the banks, media, and everything else are running this rap game and turning our people into mediums for their master's bidding. So in other words, nothing has changed in over 400 years than when our people were locked up in chains. Take the finest black people, take the most talented black people, put them above their own people, and pit them against one another and use them for their own destruction. The same thing is happening now. The only difference is between then and now is that you don't see the physical chains. The chains are mental and spiritual. It's even more dangerous. Let me tell you how skillful our people are in doing their master's biddings. Now, these brothers, these rappers, will sit there and claim to tell their success stories, when in truth, their success stories was built off the destruction of our people. Now, you know, these brothers started off selling drugs, just like everybody else. They started off selling drugs and doing dirt, building off the destruction of their own people. There's nothing successful about that, brothers and sisters. Nothing whatsoever. This is slave master worship at its finest. And you got to understand, when you see stuff like this, you got to ask yourself the question. Anything our people are involved in, you got to ask, what is it producing? Well, let me tell you what this whole music industry is producing, especially the rap game. It's producing greed, hatred, selfishness, and self-hatred amongst our own people. That's what this whole thing is producing. And you're talking about imitating and worshiping their slave masters, keeping slavery alive and well. I hope y'all really can see this thing, because it's only going to get worse until our people wake up and realize what they are doing. Self-destruction. Divide and conquer. The love of money is the root of all evil. And our people are the biggest sellouts. They will sell out for a dime on the dollar. And this whole music industry and this rap game is turning our brothers into feminists, homosexuals, sensitive, making them emotional like women. It's like the brothers are turning into the women and the women are becoming like the men. It's crazy. Isaiah 3:12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy path. And many of our people's path have been destroyed, while our people continue to imitate and act out the biddings of their slave masters in full force. And this whole thing with our people worshiping their slave masters through the rap game and the music industry has gone so far that it's irreversible. And the only way it's going to be cured is that the Most High has to destroy it all, even our people along with it, unfortunately. Now I want to show you something that's going to be mind-blowing. Something that's so subconscious that many of our people don't even realize they're doing it. So, to my Israelite sleeping and woke sisters, can I tell you a secret? What if I told you that the white woman has subconsciously been your model and your God? Let me rephrase that. Maybe you didn't quite understand what I'm saying here. What if I told you that the white woman has been your model and your God subconsciously for over 80 years? Would you believe me? Or would you say that I'm just crazy or cast me off as demonic? But before I show you what I'm getting ready to show you, let's look at something right quick. Let's look at worship. Reverent honor and homage paid to God or a sacred personage or to any object regarded as sacred. Did y'all hear that? And you can look it up in different versions. It's going to say the same thing. Now, you may be asking yourselves the question, where is this brother going with this? What's his point? What is he trying to prove? Well, I want you to take a close look at this. I'm going to show you something. Brothers and sisters, you cannot make this shit up. Now, I want you to pay close attention. Now, these are white and black women from the 50s and 60s. Now, before I say anything, we all know that the most sacred part of a woman is her hair. Well, that's one of the sacred parts, is her hair. Am I right or wrong? A woman takes value in their hair. Now, look at these pictures. Look at these series of pictures. You have the white women at the top, and you have the black women at the bottom. These are the women of the 50s and 60s. I want you to take a minute and look at the similarities. All right? Look at who's imitating who. I want y'all to see it. Just take a minute, a few seconds, and look at it really closely. Look at the hairstyles. Now, when you look at white women's hair, their hair is naturally supposed to be like that. Their hair falls to the ground. But in order for a black woman to make their hair look like that, they have to straighten it, take the power out of it, and bring it down. Now, this is no shot at the black woman, but my point is to prove how the white women have subconsciously been gods and examples to the black woman for over 80 years, for so long. And our sisters do it so subconsciously that they don't even realize it. You know, the highest order of mental illness is to come to the knowledge that you don't have no mental illness. But this is mental illness at its highest. To imitate your oppressors in every way, in manner, and form is a huge indicator of mental illness. Now, you look at this real closely and look at how our sisters constantly imitate their oppressors. And remember what I said earlier, that one of the woman's sacred part of their body is their hair. It's their glory. So when you change the style of your glory of your hair to match your oppressors, you are perpetuating slavery. You are perpetuating oppression. And the white woman has become, officially have become your God. You're not going to like what I'm saying, you know. I know this is going to be rough for a lot of people, but nothing that I'm saying is a lie, and you know this. Okay, I get it, sisters. The curses, black women losing their hair, gotta have the weave, got it. But let me tell you something. Even an afro weave would be suitable under the circumstances. Y'all know they have technology where they can glue the afro wigs to your scalp. At least it would be the kind of hair that represents what your hair is supposed to look like. All right, let's look at some modern day women. I'm telling you, you can't make this up. Look at the similarities. Look at it. We do it so subconsciously that our women don't even realize it, and you can't deny it. Come on, brothers and sisters. You know you see this on a daily basis. It is so prevalent amongst our people that it's becoming so natural to be this way, to be like our oppressors, to look like them. Take the power out of your black, beautiful hair that's supposed to rise up to the sky, and you bring it down to the earth to match the hairs of your oppressors. I mean, seriously, why give homage to Elohim now? You have the white woman as your God, because apparently we don't like the hair that the Most High blessed us with. Until we come out of this stupor and really see what we're doing subconsciously, brothers and sisters, we're not going to see it. We're going to continue to be in a fixed matrix. Now, just imagine if the brothers started tailoring their hair to match that of their oppressors. You know how funny we would look? And you know you women would be ragging on us big time. Y'all be talking about us so bad, how funny we look, how stupid we look. But we're doing it every day, and you women don't even realize it. That's the sad part. It's crazy. And many of you listening to this will totally disagree with me, saying, no, that's not true. We don't worship no white women. Well, by your actions. I mean, imitating your oppressors tells the full story. You can't get away from it. Just go ahead and admit it. And for the many of the black women who are imitating their oppressors, let me show you the few of the black women who have broken away from that and rocking their natural beauty as the way the Most High meant it to be. You see, there's a natural beauty when our black women cast off the dark imagery of their oppressors and rock their natural hair the way it is meant to be. It's a certain look, a certain power. This is power. Power of the black woman. not looking like their oppressors, like many of our women do. Coming out of the matrix of your oppressors is a powerful thing. No white woman in the world can compare to the black woman rocking her natural beauty. Because you know why? White woman hair cannot get like this. But it's sad that we reverse it and we try to make our hair look like them. When the Most High gave us a natural beauty, He gave our women a natural power. The power of their hair to defy gravity, to sprout up and blossom like an olive tree. That afro, that natural power can't compare to anything on this earth. And no white woman can bring that out. Now, I want to touch back on this religious thing because our people are drunk with religion, and I mean drunk with it. And I'm not talking about the ones who are caught up in Christianity. We know that for sure because they're dead, they're asleep. But I'm talking about the so-called woke brothers and sisters are still stuck in religion, their mindset. If you don't believe me, go and watch on YouTube all these elders. Go look at all the elders on these YouTubes and look how much time they spend debating and arguing with one another on matters that they don't even fully understand. That's why debating is such folly, because you got all these brothers arguing and trying to prove one another's point, but they're on different channels. You got a brother on one channel, he may be on channel 7, and he's trying to debate with somebody else, and they're on channel 6. They're not going to hear one another. Things are going to be invisible. That's why there's so much confusion in Zion, because everybody is on different channels and everybody is trying to prove their little point, but it's invisible to a lot of people because the other receiving end don't see it because they're trying to prove their point and the other side don't see it. And this is where all this confusion comes in at, because everybody is on different channels. And no man on earth will be able to set us on the right channel. Only the Most High is going to do that. You see, when you have funky, weak, earthling humans left to try to interpret the word and dictate what it says, it all leads to one thing: confusion. Confusion, confusion, confusion. Everybody wants to be over everybody. Start a congregation, put a couple of elders over everybody, collect some money, and you're just like the Christian churches. You're pimping the saints just like the Sunday churches do. That's how it goes. It all goes in circles. It all leads to one place. Back to Christianity. Back to the same source you came out of. It all points back to religion. And all religion is nothing more than repeated superstition. You're not going to find religion in the Torah. Now, you're going to see it about 4 times in the New Testament. That's because it was later added as a diversion. But people, don't be fooled. Do your research. Religion is the most dangerous thing our people can ever divulge in. And it's destroying our people. Our people are drunk with it. 1 Peter 3:5 says it best like this: neither as being lords over the Most High's heritage, but being examples to the flock. I don't think our people really understand what that means. And you get all these brothers that want to be lords over everybody, want to start their own little congregation, just like the Christian churches, become just like them. And this is what I'm talking about. We as a people perpetuate the slave master's deeds. We keep slavery alive. This is what they did to us. They stuck us in the corner, gave us a little church, put a white Jesus before us. Here, you're going to worship that. That's what you're going to worship. This is how you're going to worship us. This is how you're going to praise the Most High. And this is why I don't believe that we are in the true awakening, Zion. We are not. Now, people are becoming conscious. People are becoming aware that we've been lied to. But this is not the true awakening. Because you know why? The word says that The Most High, Elohim, is not the author of confusion. And there's so much confusion right now because you got too many masteries, too many teachers want to be teachers, too many people cluttering everything. Religion. Repeated superstitions because they don't know where else to go. Coming out of Christianity, that's the only thing they've ever known. So they bring it into this consciousness. So they ditch the Christianity part, but they keep the religion part. Now let's go over something else, something you all know too well. Now let's talk about some modern day buck breaking. But before we do that, let's just go over what buck breaking was all about back in the days of slavery. Now you know that the slave masters would take the slaves, the men, and they would commit sexual acts on them in front of their whole families, or they would chop their foot off for trying to escape, or try to make some kind of example out of them, putting them between horses and making the horses rip them apart. All of that dealt with buck breaking, and that was designed to shame the black man in front of his whole family so that his family would not be able to look to him, to the man, as a true leader of his household. So they broke all that. And that stuff still is ingrained in a lot of our people today. And buck breaking is happening right in this current time. You know, just like when celebrities, what do you have to do in order to become famous? You got to sell your soul, or you got to do some kind of sexual act. You know, these guys that's in the rap game, the music industry, the movie industry, all of it. If you really want to be at the top, you have to really sell your soul. That means that you're going to have to commit some sexual acts, or you're going to have to do some sacrifices. But you will sell your soul. That's a guarantee. That is a form of buck breaking. And our people, they allow it. We allow ourselves to get in those situations. Another way is through imagery. And I always tell you that imagery is power. And so all these years, ever since the entertainment world came into existence, everything has been whitewashed. And we all know this. You know, I'm preaching to the choir. We all know that everything that all the Bible stories, all the Bible characters, these movies that they make, everybody is white. Everything is whitewashed. But the ones who run this world, they know the deal. They know the true deal. And this whole perpetual of keeping slavery alive is still prevalent amongst our people, brothers and sisters. This thing is deep. It's so ingrained in us. And until we separate ourselves completely, I'm talking about completely, we have to do a completely spiritual and mental separations. Now, we can't get away from them physically because we're surrounded. I mean, the word says that. The word says that I will scatter you among the heathens and you will be few in number. So that's a no-brainer. We can't get out from that, but we can separate from them spiritually and mentally. Well, how do we do that? Well, stop participating in their ways. Stop celebrating their holidays. Stop going to their churches. Stop eating their poisons. Black women, please stop straightening your hair to look like a damn white woman. That's how you do it. We got to have a complete mental and spiritual separation. As the word says, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. It didn't say some. It said none of his ways. But what do we do as a people? We're choosing every single way of the oppressor and loving it. You know, our people are the worst. The most stiff-necked, the most wicked, the most abominable thing out there. You got wannabe thugs that want to sell drugs to their own people, destroy their own people, don't care for nothing, don't even give a damn, as long as they're getting theirs. Killing their own brothers dead on the street over drugs, over nickels, dimes, you name it. They don't even care. See, they wouldn't go into a white neighborhood and do that. Let them go into a rich white neighborhood and do a drive-by. You would never see them do that. But they'll steal from their own people. They'll shoot down their own people. They won't even think twice. They won't even think. They'll just do it. Just shoot down their own people. And you know, I'm afraid for this younger generation. This younger generation, especially this younger generation of women. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I've never seen a group of women so disrespectful in my life. You know, I'm old school. When I was growing up, there was a level of respect that we had growing up, but not with these new generation women. It's crazy. Twerking on cop cars and all kinds of stuff. They don't even respect no one. They don't even respect each other. They don't even respect their own women. That's how bad it's gotten. And you know, you're talking about perpetuating slavery, doing everything, these brothers and sisters, everything that the slave master wants them to do. They're doing it. And I hate to say it, but I honestly believe that for many of these wicked people out there, our people, there's no hope for them. And it brings it to this conclusion. A lot of them are going to have to bleed out and die. You hear me? They're going to have to bleed out and die. And some of you wonder, well, why does the Most High allow this to happen? Why is he allowing our people to be so wicked? Well, you got to understand, the Most High is allowing this thing to be fulfilled. Because it's going to come to the point where we're going to have to choose one side or the other. There's no middle ground. Either you're going to choose wickedness or you're going to choose righteousness. And we're seeing a big divide amongst our people, a huge divide. All through the word, we have seen examples of our people being destroyed. Bottom of Mount Sinai, where thousands of our people were destroyed for being wicked. Moshe was gone just for a little bit, and our people went crazy, forgot that quick. Forgot all the miracles, all the blessings that the Most High bestowed upon Israel, how he brought them out of Egypt. They forgot and went about their wicked ways. There is no difference in us today, brothers and sisters. We have gotten to a point that is so wicked that many of our people have gotten to a point of no return. And therefore, like I said, they're going to have to bleed out and die. So stand back, Zion, and let the Most High do his work. Shalom and stay strong.
I'm here to encourage you, brothers and sisters, trying to paint to you a better picture. Everything I say, I back it up with the scriptures to get you out the matrix. It's been over 400 years of life. You gotta open up your eyes, 'cause there's so many reasons we in captivity. You gotta flee from the heathens. There is hope in our future, even though they trying to do us in. But we live to fight another day. Vengeance is Yah. We'll be praying for Yahuwah. I gotta thank Yahuwah for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Whoa. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah. And the faith of Mashiach. Yeah. I gotta thank Yahuwah for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah and the faith of the Mashiach. Do